Shedeur, however, though, James, he goes to an organization in Cleveland that has a stacked quarterback room, but not necessarily an incredibly talented quarterback room. I think both those things can be true. Joe Flacco, 40 years old, he's set to be the starter. Deshaun Watson paid $230 million guaranteed, but he tore his Achilles, will likely miss the majority of this season, and even if he was healthy, don't know how much he would contribute. Kenny Pickett, going on his third team in 3 years, I'll discuss more about that momentarily. Dillon Gabriel was drafted by the Cleveland Browns this year in the third round, and then Shedeur Sanders. So many people have talked over and over and over about the curse of Shedeur Sanders falling in the fifth round. Shame on the NFL. It's the worst thing that could have happened. How are they doing this to the Shedeur? Why would they try to humble this young brother? But James, as someone who played a long time in the league, I will spin this forward, a question I haven't heard asked yet. Is Shedeur's draft slide actually a blessing in disguise?
Absolutely not. Oh, absolutely not. So, just for the viewers out there, right, when you go in the first 3 rounds, you're really projected as a starter, right? We think that you can be a big-time starter for our football team. What does that mean? Maybe Pro Bowl, maybe just being a solid starter, right? Consistent starter. That's what that means. And you know what's going to happen once you get in training camp? They are going to put you in every situation to give you the opportunity to be that starter, to be that guy. I remember when I got to Green Bay, I will never forget, I remember Vel Martin, we were on the sideline and he said he was a free agent, but he had made the team for the Packers before, played some really good football. And I remember him saying, they do this every year. They always put the high draft picks in the position to make the plays. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I'm just out here balling. They throwing me the ball, I'm just out here balling, right? And then the very next year, I'm in my second year, and they draft Jordy, right? And as the viewers don't know, when you go through a practice, the coaches on the offense script the plays with the coaches of the defense. So they are going to run a defense to that offensive play. The coaches already know the coverage. For the defense, the offensive coaches already know the play. So they know who should be the first read on the play. They were putting Jordy at the Z every time the Z was supposed to get the ball. And Jordy wasn't saying, and I'm like, dang, that's what they did with me last year. They gave me every opportunity to make the team. Shedeur Sanders is a 5th rounder. Joe Flacco's a starter. He's a veteran. You know what? He's probably going to trot out there first because he's not going to look stupid in practice. And you know what? He's been in the league for 15-something years. He's not going to play a lot in the preseason. Then you have a guy, a first rounder now, that we traded for. He's going to be number 2 on the depth chart. He's probably going to look average in the preseason to be able to keep that backup job. And then there's another guy that you drafted in the 3rd round in Dillon Gabriel that's going to start on the depth chart in front of Shedeur Sanders. I don't know how he's going to look in preseason, but this is an uphill battle for Shedeur. He is not walking in there in these first 3 rounds with the opportunity to truly be the starter on that team. He is going to have a Russell Wilson type preseason and type, for real, Russell Wilson type preseason and type training camp for me to even be honest, make the team. Because I don't know if necessarily you're saying a 5th rounder is just going to jump up there and be a starter. This is not a blessing in disguise. I think for Shedeur Sanders' career, this is going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be hard for him. Can it be done? We've seen people like Brock Purdy. We've seen people like Tom Brady. I know we've seen a lot of 5th, 6th, 7th rounders do well, but it is extremely hard. You do not get the opportunities that those first 3 rounds get to make the team. You got to be really, really special, and you do not have a lot of air.
Yeah, that's very well said. I think for me, what it comes down to is it should be a blessing in disguise. It absolutely should be. The whole world just watched you slide. The whole world just was talking about you for 72 hours, and it had nothing to do with your on-the-field play. Because, James, on-the-field play, for me, Shedeur Sanders is at least a 2nd-round talent. Like, he should have been drafted in the 2nd to 3rd round. Now, some other stuff got him drafted a little bit later. Now it's time for the hard work. Now it's time to have a chip on his shoulder. I don't know if Shedeur Sanders has ever had a chip on his shoulder because he's always been the best player on the field. Jackson State, best player on the field, turned that team around. Colorado, best player on the field other than Travis Hunter, turned that team around, okay? And I'm not going to say everything has been given to Shedeur because what I know about Shedeur, he's a hard worker. He has a work ethic, okay? And some teams didn't vibe with him. This better be a blessing in disguise because, like you said, when you're a 5th-round pick, you're just fighting for your spot on the roster.
Talk about it.
I went undrafted. Okay, I got into a good situation where I was a third-string quarterback in 2009 behind Drew Brees, and Mark Brunell was lucky enough to win a Super Bowl doing nothing but learning from those guys. My future in the NFL was shaped my rookie year. It was shaped behind Drew Brees. It was shaped behind Mark Brunell because those are veteran guys. I decided, and I wanted to, not decided, I had to pick and choose. I was like a sponge. I did everything I could to pick up every single type of information from Drew Brees, everything I could to pick up every type of single situation and information from Mark Brunell. And I carried that on to a 14-year career because I was like, hey, man, let me just learn. This is a perfect time for Shedeur Sanders to learn. He doesn't have the pressure to go in there and to play right away. He's got to work for every single thing he has. I'm excited for him to go there. Look, you didn't get drafted where you wanted. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? And that's the attitude that I think Shedeur is going to take and that he has to take.
Really quick before Acho goes, I understand that, and your 14-year career turned out to be truly, truly good, but you didn't play. That's what I'm like. Mark Brunell and Drew Brees played. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking about, is this a blessing? A blessing in disguise to do what?
Work hard. Try to, and it's a good situation that he's in Cleveland.
So Chase has hit two of my points. I think it can be a blessing in disguise for Shedeur Sanders for three reasons. And Shedeur, you got to make it a blessing. Number one, Shedeur, it's your best opportunity to eventually become a starter. That's the first thing. Number two, Shedeur, there is less pressure because you're a fifth-round pick. First-round pick, you would have had to start, if not by day one, by week 10. And number three, it's a small market. It's the only thing that can counterbalance all of the attention that the last name Sanders already acquires. It's a small market. So revisiting number one, it's the opportunity to become a starter because there is not a quarterback on that roster that, Shedeur, you don't have the ability to beat out. Not saying you will, but you got the ability to beat out Dillon Gabriel. You were better than him, in my opinion, in college. Kenny Pickett, he is an NFL journeyman. He's been on 3 teams in 3 different years. Joe Flacco, he is going on 40. And Deshaun Watson, the team has already said they made a mistake on that contract. You can beat all of those players out. Remember, you can beat out Deshaun. You can beat out Flacco. You can beat out Gabriel. You can beat out Pickett. That's the first thing. The second thing, there is so much less pressure being a 5th-round pick.
I'd agree with you.
And then lastly, the only way to counterbalance all the attention that Sanders name gets is not by going to New York. It's not by going to Dallas. It's by going and hiding in Berea, Ohio. I went to that practice facility every day, 76 Lou Groza Boulevard. I know that area. It's by going and hiding out in Cleveland. So I think there is a blessing that can be found in the midst of all of that mess. But James, I love this conversation. Go ahead, Jay. You got something.
Really quick, because I believe it's more pressure. And the main reason why I say that is because when you're a first rounder, second rounder, you know how many chances you get?
3, at least.
At least
yeah,
to
3.
start.
Yeah, 3.
Not be a backup. Like Kenny Pickett is going to mess around and he's going to be a backup 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
But a first rounder, you get so many chances. If Shedeur Sanders goes out here and let's say he don't play well, you know what they're going to say? That's why I believe it is so much more pressure on him now because, number one, you cannot make those mistakes.
Of course.
When you're a first rounder, you can make all those mistakes. And you're still going to be a first rounder and you're still going to trot yourself out there. When you're a 5th rounder, 6th rounder, 7th, you can't make all them mistakes. You're not given that opportunity.
The beauty of this show, different than most other shows, again, I was a 6th-round pick to the Cleveland Browns. Chase was undrafted. James was a 3rd-round pick. Usually we got the superstar here in Shady McCoy, Eagles Hall of Famer. You get the whole gauntlet of all this. Chase, I don't want to interrupt you, so you go to your thought and I'll follow up.
Yeah, thank you. I just think for me, James, the reason why I sort of agreed with Acho, because I mean, obviously didn't know you were going to say less pressure. I would tend to agree with him because, in my opinion, right now, Shedeur Sanders is not ready to step onto the field and lead a franchise in terms of play. He just isn't ready. And there's nothing wrong with that because we've lost the developmental part of this quarterback league. So when I say less pressure, I mean he can come in, he can learn from Joe Flacco, who is a Super Bowl MVP, just about the process of how to be an NFL quarterback because it is not easy. There are so many other things in that. And then, look, you don't have to trot out there when you're not ready to play. You can sit back. You can work with Kevin Stefanski, who is a 2-time coach of the year. You can learn the offense. You can do this. And then when your time comes, because I do believe, based on that depth chart that you said, at some point this year, Shedeur Sanders, if he makes the roster, he will play a game or two.
Yeah.
See,
He will. And then you can see what type of talent and where he's at in his development.
Go ahead.
We're talking about, like, that was a great assessment right there of a first rounder. He might not be on this team. He's a fifth round. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
He has to go out here. When practice starts at training camp, ones go, Flacco up.
James, I have it. I literally, hold on. I have this written down. I have this written down. Usually, bring me on, Kim. Usually there are 16 plays in every practice period. And I'm going to try to say this as concisely as possible because the fellas to my left know, viewers at home, you might not. There might be 25-minute periods in practice that equates to an hour and a half, a 2-hour practice. Every 5-minute period, there will be like 16 plays. They'll say one's up. Ones means the first team. The first team will get 4 plays.
There it is.
They'll say two's up. Twos mean the second team. The second team will get 4 plays. They'll say three's up. Threes mean the third team. The third team will get 2 plays. They'll say that's 10 plays for those counting at home. Remember, I told you all about 16, maybe about 13. They'll say one's up again. Ones will go back and they'll get 4 more plays. They'll say two's up again. Twos will go back. Twos will get 2 plays. Whistle blows, off to the next period. What that equates to is the first team is now going to get about 8 plays. The second team will get about 6 plays. And the third team will get 2 plays. Shedeur Sanders will be on that third team. Joe Flacco will go with ones up, or Joe Flacco won't get reps. He will get 4th, but I'm suggesting this. Flacco's 40, right? Flacco's been on that team. He knows Stefanski. So perfect world, right? Let's say perfect world, because I don't want to argue with my fellas to my left. Perfect world. Hey, Joe Flacco, you're taking the day off. You're 40. You know the playbook.
I got you.
One's up, Kenny Pickett. You get the 4. Two's up, Dylan Gabriel. You get the 2nd reps. Three's up, Shedeur. You go get the 3rd reps. And that's assuming Flacco doesn't practice. To the brilliant minds to my left point, if Flacco practices, one's up, Flacco. Two's up, Pickett. Three's up, Gabriel. Next time around, three's up, hey, Shedeur, you go in there instead of Gabriel.
And that's exactly what I was going to speak to, because I've been the 3rd quarterback in training camp, and we've had 4. Let's just forget OTAs. It's like whatever. Shedeur's probably going to get some reps in OTAs. That's nothing. Let's go to training. Exactly. Let's go to training camp. Because if Joe Flacco's trying to be a starter, he's going to practice every single day. So he will get all the reps, and then you're splitting.
Come on, man.
You're splitting 2 reps between Dylan Gabriel, who you took in the 3rd round, and even Andrew Berry said their plan was not to draft another quarterback. So you get 1 rep each period if you're Shedeur Sanders. And that rep might be a handoff. That rep might be a screen. That rep might be a zone read. You can't even really truly do it. So it's hard for him to develop as a quarterback in training camp this year.
And we talk about less pressure?
Until he gets into the game. And that's what I had an issue with, like, as a rookie, is when I was taking 3rd string reps, I'm like, I got 6 plays in practice to show Sean Payton what the heck I'm about. And I better throw this. Bro, I was pressing so much that Sean Payton came up to me, like, after 2 weeks, he's like, you're way better than that. Just throw, if it's a stick route. Nah, coach, I'm checking to a go.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you're trying to press and you're trying to do things that you shouldn't. So I get what you're saying from that standpoint, but at least this year he doesn't have to play.
Let me elaborate on this. I love this conversation. I'm loving this show. Hopefully y'all are as well. Elaborating on this point is, if you are Shedeur, you can get cut, and we'll talk about it for a day. Like, understand, to James's point, to Chase's point, and to nobody else's, to my point, I was drafted to Cleveland in the 6th round. I'm not a Sanders, but I know how to be a backup in Cleveland. If you get cut, okay, as a 1st-round pick, you're not getting cut. As a 2nd-round pick, you're not getting cut. As a 3rd-round pick, you're not getting cut. Now, Shedeur Sanders, the dialogue around him isn't, is he going to start? It's, is he going to make the team? So the reason, though, James, I'm suggesting there's less pressure is because, Shedeur, you're not even supposed to make the team. Like, we could have been having hey, Shedeur, how many games are the Browns going to win conversation. To me, James, that's pressure. Caleb Williams, are you going to win the division? That's the dialogue we had around Caleb Williams last year. That's pressure. Now we're like, hey, Shedeur, go do something with those 2 reps you're going to get today. Like, what's the pressure? What's the pressure?
That's no pressure to me.
What's that? What's no pressure?
Walking out to training camp practice knowing that where I'm going to live, man, I got to go find my crib, and I'm not getting cut.
Facts.
That ain't no pressure. When I was in Green Bay, I would go out there, drop some passes. The coach would say, you back up. Go in there with the 3s, go in there with the 2s, go in there with the... I got so many opportunities, and I knew, like, I'm going to be on this team. The people is reaching out to my agent and all that. Hey, man, James, these are the areas you need to live in. He has to make every play. When he gets into training camp, he has to make every play. He has to ball out to make the team or you get cut. My name is Jones, Daniels, Emmanuel Acho. It's not Sanders. We are going to be saying he ain't that good. We knew it. That's why he failed to the. We are going to be saying so much if Shedeur gets cut. It is not just going to be like, oh, this is just another backup quarterback. We are going to be saying so much. His opportunity to make mistakes where he got drafted is down, and to me, that's more pressure. Caleb Williams, you know what he's saying? Man, I'm going to be here for the next 10 years, no matter how it looks.
So going back...
Really quick, if Caleb Williams go out there and he have a bad period, you know what he can say? I want to take these reps. Move out the way, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shedeur can't do that. That's going to be hard on my dog,
and I agree with you. And to a point, there is more pressure. I get that. Look, I go back to my time with the Washington franchise, because I was there in 2009. I was undrafted, right? So me and Shedeur are completely opposite situations. He was the talk of the town. He was drafted in the 5th round. 5th round picks usually stick. They usually stick. It's like right on the fringe.
Right on the fringe.
Quarterbacks, though, probably get the benefit of the doubt.
Good point.
When I was at Washington, Jim Zorn was the head coach there, okay? I was the 4th quarterback behind Todd Collins, Jason Campbell, and Colt Brennan. And so I rarely got any reps at all in practice. Here's where Shedeur, though, can really make it interesting, even if he does get cut. And everyone always says, hey, put the film out there, which means in preseason, if you're playing in a game, even if you get in, like I'm pretty sure that I played in 4 preseason games in 2009, my rookie year. I played in 2.5 quarters worth of football in 4 games. I threw 4 touchdown passes. I played really well. 31 other teams get that tape. The New Orleans Saints the next day when I got cut, hey, come down here, be the 3rd quarterback, made the roster, went on to have a 14-year career. I say all that is because what he does in the preseason on film matters. If not for the Cleveland Browns, for every 31 other teams that passed on him.
And
it's a tryout for 31 other teams.
It's good. Here's where I want to address Chase's point because I don't know if I agree with it, though it is brilliant. I would suggest, Chase, that the Saints were probably interested in you regardless. What I mean by that is this. I always thought the Philadelphia Eagles were going to draft me. I met with them at the NFL Combine privately. Andy Reid, Howie Roseman. Juan Castillo, the defensive coordinator, flew down to Austin, Texas to work me out privately. I always thought the Eagles were going to draft me. They did not. They drafted Michael Kendricks in the 2nd round. After my rookie year, the Eagles traded for me. But I didn't play my rookie year because I tore my MCL completely playing the Packers. So the Eagles were always trying to acquire Emmanuel Acho. They didn't acquire Emmanuel Acho based on what he did in the preseason. They always wanted to acquire me. Here's why I share that story. Teams that want Shedeur probably want or don't want Shedeur. I was thinking about it driving into work today, Chase. I don't know how Shedeur is going to get reps in preseason. I can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait to watch it. We'll talk more about can he be a starter later, but not significantly. What I mean is this. First preseason game, say Flacco doesn't play.
He's not going to play at all.
Right?
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett is still a young quarterback.
Yeah,
so Kenny got to get a half. Yeah. Then Gabriel probably got to get a quarter because Gabriel's a 3rd-round pick. Shedeur gets the fourth quarter,
in 3
hopefully.
Games. 3 quarters in 3
Exactly
games.
right. Second game, Kenny Pickett still got to get meaningful time. By the 3rd game, Flacco has to play at some point, right? Flacco's going to get his dress rehearsal. So then Shedeur is going to probably get a quarter, and a quarter and a half. Exactly right, like Chase just said. So I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm like, and even that, Shedeur, you're not doing a Travis Hunter, big dog.
You're not.
You're not doing a Jerry Jeudy either. And you're not doing a David Njoku. You getting them 3rd team
Just like every other 5th and 6th and 7th round and undrafted quarterback do, you have to make the best of your situation.
Yeah.
And so when it's time to go out there, you got a ball. And dude, the Saints weren't interested in me. I had 2 calls as undrafted free agent, the Cowboys and the Washington franchise, okay? And then when I was cut with the Washington, no one called except the New Orleans Saints. So what matters in the preseason matters, my brother.
Last question for y'all.
That's why I'm telling y'all it's more pressure.
Last question very quickly. And this is probably the most polarizing question of it all. Glad y'all are still here sticking with this conversation for this moment. James, you had a welcome to the NFL moment. I had a welcome to the NFL moment. Chase, I'm sure, had a welcome to the NFL moment. A welcome to the NFL moment is a moment where you realize the league is bigger than you, the players are better than you. It's a very humbling moment. Would you suggest that Shedeur's welcome to the NFL moment was the draft? Like, for everybody that wants to say, and Shady says this all the time, man, I wish I would have come into the league as confident, as arrogant, as cocky as I always was. Yeah, with all due respect, That just doesn't usually work out well.
Yeah.
You need to be humbled first. He who is humbled will become exalted. It's not just biblical, I believe it's practical.
Yeah.
Do you believe that this might have been a blessing for Shedeur because now he had a humbling welcome to the NFL moment in the draft, so now he has to work hard. Your back is against the wall.
Yeah.
Shedeur, you have no option but to fight.
Yeah. No. His welcome to the NFL moment will happen at some point when you get up in that NFL and you realize that is different. You know what I'm saying? That's when it'll happen. But the swag, the confidence, and all that, he's going to Cleveland with that. I came out of San Jose State. I thought I was going to Green Bay, and I thought I was taking over the city. I thought I have a street after me. I said, I'm finna go out here. I'm looking at the roster. Oh, shoot, it's only Donald Driver, Greg Jennings. I got a shot to go out here and go crazy. With Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers behind, I was walking in the building with that confidence. So, I mean, listen, he wanted to go higher. It did not happen like that. But the swag, the confidence, him being confident in himself to go ball, I don't think that's changed. I think he's going to walk into that building with that same confidence.
I could see how, like, I would agree with that a little bit. Like, there's going to be multiple welcome to the NFL moments. That's what people don't understand is like, yeah, you think you have one, but as a 5th round, 6th round, 7th round pick, you have multiple. 1st round picks like, I'll get the next practice. He doesn't have that issue. And so for me, it's like, yeah, he got humbled a little bit. Sure, he fell for reasons outside of the pure view of like what's happening. Like, you know, because when you watch the film, he's a 2nd round, 1st round talent, quarterback-wise, truly. Now, the other stuff, yeah, I think it's a lesson for other players coming up. Like, the pre-draft stuff, like, okay, that's in the past, though.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to say is, like, don't focus on the past.
Yeah.
You're in the NFL as of now. Do you know how many people in the world wish they were and had a chance at quarterback to play? There's like 93 people in the world that play quarterback in the world. 93, like right now, like around 99. You're one of 93. Yeah. Get to work, man.
Keep it that way. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.